What's happening, everyone? Week 6 is almost in the books, and it's been fun to say the least. I'm excited, and I bet you guys were excited by what you saw. It was quite full of drama, to say the least, indeed. Right, where do we start? In terms of fantasy, I'm slightly disappointed by my outcome this week, or for what has been happening so far. We've got one more game to go, but my overall outcome led me to 31% in terms of the choices that I had of the teams that I believed were going to win their games. Fortunately, it's slightly lower than my usual average, but that's the NFL for you. You never know what's going to happen. And it has even lowered my overall percentage through the first through the first 6 weeks, sorry, from 64%, I'm down to 60%. That's quite a lot. But if you were to compare that to the fans' average of this week's in terms of prediction, the fans' average is down to 23%, which is what the fall, which is what you call it, the type, the percentage of games they believe and they actually managed to get right, whereas I was at 31%. But that being said, it's football, like I said, it happens, and we've got to just move on and look forward to the next few games. So, without any further ado, we are indeed going to start with what I believe was probably the best, if not the best, game of the season so far in terms of the Detroit Lions facing off against the Saints. It was fun from the start to finish. Both quarterbacks went out there, did some marginal, you say the least, excuse me, some marginal mistakes. And whether you are Drew Brees or Matthew Stafford, you are going to go back and look at that game and wonder to yourself, wow, what happened? But both defenses had great games. The Saints turn up, but from an outsider point of view, you've got to think about how much points they keep on continuing, or they keep on racking up. It's not quite good. Drew Brees at home is always efficient. You know he's going to turn up. You know he's going to score points. You know he's going to throw the ball. But the defense can keep on allowing that many points on a weekly basis. When you leave your home stadium, going away, you can't keep that same level or consistency. You've got to be able to step up at certain times and be able to take charge and say, right, you know what, this week we're not going to allow any more points over 30, and keep that mentality going. But there are flaws. Every team has the flaws, but the Saints, you have to say, it's their defense. Drew Brees, regardless how good he is, he's gonna come up. He's gonna come up against a task of having to bail his team out on a constant basis, having to throw the ball. But it's got easier in a certain way when you think about how AP got out of that situation. It's good. We're gonna get to AP in not in long, but it allows Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram to just run the ball and have enough carries between them. But it was a very good game. I'm sure if you were out there or anyone who had the chance to watch the game, you really enjoyed it. On to the next game. Actually choosing between those three teams, I actually had the Detroit Lions to win that game. It didn't happen, but I said it's the NFL. It happens. The Saints did a good job. Defense turned up and they won the game. I'm quite happy as well for the Washington to have won the game. Yes, my team. Sorry, biased, but what can I do? Beating 49ers, close game. Their 49ers could have started what could have been a good comeback. And then last minute they missed. They didn't get too close, to get their field goal to get a field goal. But I'm happy we won the game. Kirk is doing the job. Bob Kelly not playing, but Samaj really doesn't during the combine. He's running the ball. Chris Thompson running, catching, actually more catching than running, which is fun. So you got two good headed monsters, two small headed monsters, not like Devonta Freeman and Coleman at the Falcons. But I'm happy with what we've got. We've got to you got to make the best of what you have in order to keep on improving. But I'm happy for the result. To the Packers against the Vikings. I had the Packers to win the game simply because of AR12. Bad, good news depending on how you see it. Aaron Rodgers injured, collarbone, could be out for the season. It's not good news for the management. It's not good news for the team as a whole. Like I said, from depending on your point of view, he is arguably the best QB in the league and perhaps the best football player in the league, which hard to replace. He is the team in a certain way. But you gotta also see the side, the point of view from Brett Hundley. It's been there for about 3 years now. Yeah, until his third year. Hopefully, it's a wake-up call for him. It's a good opportunity. He has to seize it and turn up. If it doesn't, they'll probably have to go get another QB and get him in. If not, they've got no choice. But they are very with him. Aaron Rodgers is out. We don't know how long for. Could be potentially a year. You have to look at it and then try to give Brett Hundley all the support you can. He may need in order to improve. But it's bad news, but it's also good news for Brett. So hopefully Brett does turn up and does the job for them. On to my next game, actually next point, sorry. Miami Dolphins and the Falcons. I don't know what happened. I don't know what they did, but they made it happen somehow. Miami actually managed to hold the Falcons offense to only 17 points, and they weren't able to score any more points. It's impressive. We're talking Julio Jones, Tevin Coleman, Devonta Freeman, and last year's MVP in Matt Ryan. But when you spend that much money on your defense in recruiting, whether it's what do you call them, Damkin to linebackers, Lawrence Simmons. Actually, they didn't. I don't think they paid much money. I think Timmons was released. But when you got that much talent, you get to a certain stage, they come together and they show up, and they did indeed turn up. Jay Cutler didn't have one of those amazing games, but he did enough just to allow his team to win the game, and they managed to win the game. So it's a very, very, very good win for them. Like as in terms of in sports, it's all about momentum. If you're able to get that one game to give you the resurgence that you can going forth, it will push you and then carry you throughout the entire season. Hopefully, you could be able to win at least one or two more games on the road, and then you never know what might happen. But Miami did a good job, and kudos to them. The Pats against the Jets. I had actually chosen the Jets on paper to win, and not in my fantasy. It's, how priorities, guys, priorities. But I believe the Jets could have done enough to win the game. You watched the game. If you have indeed, you could have seen how close that game was. Austin Seferian Jenkins had a TV. The refs didn't allow it, and if you are a Jets fan, you are absolutely furious. It's annoying to a certain degree. It makes you wonder. Everywhere the Pats go, controversy follows them. Everywhere that team goes, there is controversy. this touchdown should have stood, and the Jets should have won that game. They played really well. McCown turned up, running back, despite Bilal Powell going out. McCown literally found all his receivers on numerous occasions, passing them the ball, reception after reception. They were able to play so well to win the game, but for the referees changing what would have been a winning touchdown, the Jets unfortunately lost. Football, that's what happens. There is nothing perfect in football, but I'm happy for them. It's a bad and good win at the same time. It's a bad and good loss at the same time, if that makes sense. It's going to give them enough confidence to know that if we were able to get that close to winning a game against the Patriots, surely we can keep on going. It's going to galvanize them and then they keep on going. But remember, the Patriots defense is the worst defense in the league, so that should tell you something. But for the Jets, it's good. It's good in terms of giving them enough courage for the next game. But it was a very good game too. I was quite happy. For absent from the Jets. Now onto the Bears against the Ravens. I had the Ravens to win the game. Personally, I felt like they had enough talent, both on offense and defense. But Mr. Trubisky had an average game. Rookie had an average game. But what was quite interesting, one factor I was quite intrigued by was the fact that the Bears actually run the ball through Jordan Howard 36 times. Jordan Howard had 36 carries. The Ravens didn't even have 36 carries between both their running backs. And that should tell you something. You run the ball, you win the game. You run the ball efficiently, you win the game. The Bears literally ran that defense out of the game, and that was enough for them to win the game. The QB didn't have to throw that much because Jordan Howard was just running the ball. When you've got Alex Collins in your backfield, you got Buck Allen, you got to run the ball. Ravens, you got to run the ball. You got to get these guys the momentum. You got to get them the ball. You got to run the ball. I know Flacco has a good arm, but don't rely too heavily on that. In terms of relying heavily on one thing, we'll get to that. But the Baltimore Ravens have to think about it. Run the ball. You'll get to where you need to be. But good game, good win for the Bears. The Browns, Texans, I told you. This transaction, the girlfriend that got away, you should have had him. You should have had her. She was there. You had a look, but you listened too much what people had to say. You didn't want to go for that girl. Now she's gone, and now she came back looking better than ever. And now, man, it's tough, man. It's tough. Hogan was so bad that I literally thought they were actually gonna get just Kaiser back on the game. Like they were both so bad. Makes you it's like which one of them is actually worse than the other. But hey, it's football, man. It's football. That's why I love this. I really love it. Alright, on to the next team. Sorry, the Rams against the Jags. Two very good, talented, and young running backs. TJ 100, my man, Todd Gurley, he ran the ball. Jags, unfortunately for Leonard Fournette, is injured, but I hope he gets better. They ran the ball efficiently as well. Unfortunately, what was also quite intriguing was the fact that the Rams actually scored most of their points through the first half. So they scored the more. They were able to score enough points to allow them to keep on going. So which is the defense actually sustain the rest of the workload in stopping Blake Bortles and the Giants offense. But hey, both teams actually played well because about, let me think, 3-3-6. I think there was less than 10 points scored in the second half between two teams. Actually, no. It was actually more than that, sorry. There was 13 points scored in the second half because the Jags were able to score, what you call it? They were able to score 10 points in the second half, but only, but not enough to win the game. But the Jags defense was only able to only allowed the Rams to score 3 points. So tells you how good these two defenses are. But going forward, hopefully they should be able, with two young QBs as well, they should be able to improve and be in a better direction. But the Rams are moving. The Rams are doing something that not many people expect them to do, especially given that the ball just moved. Especially given that you've got the the coach who's just there in his first season. So Sean McVay, very good coach, left my team, which is the Washington, and he went there. So lost for us, again for them. I'm happy for them. Hope they keep on going. Until the next game, AP people, AP is back. Adrian Peterson is back. I didn't see this, but I didn't really doubt ADP as such, because during the off season, having watched the drills that AP was doing, I knew he still had it in him. Because in terms of American football, some of the drills that they do are similar to the drills we do in athletics. So, or I have done in athletics. So, the ease with which he was able to keep on doing those drills at that age made me believe that he was still an elite running back. He may not be elite in terms of, guess what, passing me the ball, I will run all day for 5 consecutive weeks, but it's still AP. You know, there are certain things that you can't teach. It's there. The muscle memory is there. It's just a matter of him getting on the field, getting enough touches, getting enough opportunity, and he made it happen. So I'm happy for AP and the Cardinals. But that defense is not good enough, guys. That defense is not good enough, and they need to step up. The amount of points, I think they allowed 34 points. They need to look, 34 or 33 points, I'm not too sure. But they need to look at themselves and then say, we need, Carson Palmer is not the Carson Palmer from 2-3 years ago. You know? So you got to be able to look at that and then give us Carson Palmer a chance. But that was a good game, AP. I'm loving it. Keep on doing this. On to the next game, the Steelers against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a game I was a bit reluctant because I had the Chiefs to win the game. They were 5-0 coming into this game, but the Steelers is one of those teams that always plays the Chiefs really hard. If you remember last season, they had during the divisional playoff, the Chiefs actually the Steelers were able to win the game despite not even scoring an offensive touchdown. That tells you exactly what the sort of games these guys always get into. They are a good team despite what happened against the Jags. Ben Roethlisberger throwing 5 picks. It was quite uncharacteristic of them, which is why when they came into this game, many people had their doubt, but the outcome shows that this is not what this team is about. They turn up or whenever they are expected to turn up, and they did what they had to do, and they won the game. Live well, run the ball, as you would expect. AB, cool God, did the business. You know, good game. I was quite pleased with the performance, but I'm loving what the Chiefs have been doing. Hopefully, Alex Smith hasn't been in its own way. I don't want to use that term, but I hope that's not what will be remembered of Alex Smith coming end of this season, a loss where people would say, right, without the running game, the guy is nothing. But I feel like he's a good QB, and hopefully we can keep on winning games. Next game, the Giants, without OBJ, managed to upset the Denver Broncos. People, I feel like the Giants don't need OBJ. Although Beckham Jr. is an excellent player, but I don't feel like the Giants should rely heavily on it in order to win their games. Hear me out. If you have a Ferrari, you should not take it out of the garbage all the time. You should take it out on certain occasions. That way people will have seen you in your Ferrari. Use the Toyota, my friends. Use the Nissan. Look at another team, the Detroit Lions. You got Calvin Johnson, arguably one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver of his generation, coming into the league, of course. And Matthew Stafford. Where did they go? Calvin Johnson's out of the league. Tells you something. He was a freak. Odell was a freak. But don't rely too much on the lead. But there is a running game. Watch this out. Listen to this. In this game, it's the Denver Broncos. The Giants had 21 rushes. Eli had only 19 attempts. Last week against the Chargers, the Giants had 20 rushes, 20 carries between both their running backs. And Eli had 36 attempts, almost double what he did this week in terms of attempt. But what impressed me the most was the 21 rushes, 21 carries they had this week compared to last week's 20 carries between the two running backs. Even more impressive was the week before against the Bucks. Eli has 49 attempts with only 14 carries. In both these games, they lost them. Guys, run the ball. Run the ball. It's Oli Ndakwa is a good running back. Run the ball. Run the ball, people. Take the ball, run the ball. There are running backs. There's a reason why you draft these guys, you pick these guys to put them in your team. Don't rely too much on the passing game. It's good, but run the ball. I don't know why teams don't do it often, but like I said, the Ferrari is good. Hey, don't get me wrong, the Ferrari is cool. It's really cool. But if you go to Toyota or the Nissan, use it. That way, people will miss seeing you in the Ferrari. And then when you get it out again, they'll be like, oh yeah, dude, look at that Ferrari. That's what you want. You don't want to keep on using it. But hey, let's stop talking about Ferraris. The Colts facing the Titans should be fun. Hopefully, not too sure on Marcus Mariota. If he does play, should be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing him back. It's not cool having one of the best in talent in the league being injured, but it's the nature of the game, But hopefully I can see him out there. Jacoby, I need to step up. As much as I feel like the messiah of the Colts in Andrew Luck is due to return very soon, I feel like Jacoby has done enough. If he keeps on doing enough as well, they should be alright. Their running game is pretty good. You've got Mac, and you've got the ever gracious, what do you call him? What's that guy's name? The guy from the 49ers, the ex-49ers. But you know what I'm on about. If he keeps on doing what he's doing, hopefully they should win the game. But I'm looking forward to those two teams meeting up today. But that is it for this weekend in terms of just to say for today in terms of recap for week 6 of the NFL. People, if you enjoy the talk, feel free to subscribe and leave a comment. I'm starting this podcast and I really appreciate any comments that you may have. Thank you for listening and I hope you have a great week. Thank you. Peace.